Alright guys, this is Warrior95, and I'm starting up this YouTube channel to show people how to play Smite, hopefully. In this game, I'll be playing the Kui, as I call him. So Zhong Kui is a close combat mage, if you will. You've got to get up close and personal to the enemy to actually do any damage. Excels in Conquest and team fights. But in this game, I'm going to show you Joust 1v1 League. The idea of this is so that a lot of people underestimate Zhong Kui, I think, and really he's just a nuclear bomb waiting to happen. So let's get on with it. So straight off the bat, I went for Shoes of Focus. It's for the magical power, the cooldown overall. I think I'm fighting on her now. Many people who play Smite might know that ADCs on her, you know, hunters, etc., are quite broken, if you will. You know, they can two-shot anyone late game. Now, I've got the pleasure in this 1v1 joust of fighting on her, who, when he hits you with auto attacks, reduces your protections, and if he has his slow on you, on his number 1, you know, the obelisk, that'll also reduce protections further, I believe, and also slows you. So as you see, I'm going to take the mana buff because I didn't take it at the start because I was a bit slow in getting the first item. But I'm going to make my way back into the lane here. And I've started Warlock Sash. Straight for the minions. Really, you don't want to be focusing the enemy god at the start of the game. Now, with Zhong Kui, you've got to keep in mind he's passive. Okay, so you want to be building as many of your passive stacks as possible. That's going to give you, you know, once you've got them full, and you're ulting, I believe it's like 80 protection. Now, in any fight, that's going to be, you know, insane. I'm pretty sure I make a boo-boo here. No, oh, I'm out alive. Just. So the way I play the Kui is I start with some cooldown, get Warlock Sash because you want the health on him, and obviously with the coming patch, he's going to have increased health. I believe I maybe making a mistake here. Yeah, that's me dead. That was a mistake I had to make. Also waste the ult, which I probably shouldn't have done. But like I say, hunters, they are a bit broken. But I'm going to show you how to counter them. Like I say, I've got the pleasure in the ones who want to fighting a hunter, so they are quite. You can counter them in this scenario. As you can see here, health mana potions because my health's getting quite low and I'm not being able to get close to him with his spear. I'm not getting close enough to be able to get me heal on me number 2, which I'm leveling first. Now, I used to make the mistake a long while ago of leveling the 1, his Expose Evil. Because I like to dot. Sometimes there's nothing funnier than an enemy who thinks they've got away, and all of a sudden they've got this piece of paper and they're learning to read. And sometimes there's nothing funnier than that. As you can see here, I've obviously ran out of the mana buff since I was killed, and I'm going to nick on hers because I do need it. So there we'll go there, and that's how you do it. Obviously at this point on his getting free farm in lane, but I'm not too bothered about that because I know what I can do with the Kui. Early game is quite a tough fight, and you get sort of the mid, the late, and you do start to dominate. A lot of other things that you can do with the Kui, obviously in team fights and bigger games, Conquest and things like that. You can't just counter one god, sadly. You've got to counter them all. Now, an item I like to get in fights like that is Mystical Mail. Because 40 damage a second is nothing to be sniffed at. At the end of the day, I mean, I think Zhong Kui's, everything Zhong Kui has is about 5-second duration. So if you ult 1, 2, and 3, you know, you've got 5 seconds of a fight basically, and then you're out of juice. You've blew your load. That is everything you physically have. Zhong Kui's auto attacks can hurt as well, so never forget to get them in. As you can see here, on her is going to use his escape, but I'm ready for it. I think he gets out of this one. But like I say, he's a nuclear bomb. I mean, on her, did not expect that. But with the Kui, you don't want to look at him as a mage. You want to look at him as a magical warrior, as such. You know, you're not going to be sitting in the back line like Hebo, throwing, you know, water at people. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to be raw, beaming sun at people. you're going to be in the fight. As you can see, all of his abilities are in there. You're either all in or you're all out. If you're going to go in, stay in the fight. So yeah, all in or all out. If you're going to go in, you're going to have a team fight. You're going to blow everything you physically have. You're either going to get a kill or two. If not, the team's going to get lots of assists, and they're going to be very thankful. Hopefully, if you've got a nice team. So here, I'm thinking, you know what it is? I'm trying to bait on his spear out of him, because I know I can clear the lane a bit better than him. There it is, there it is. Okay, so he's going to have the fight here, and I'm just going to back out. Now, in this situation with Zonkui, this is the reason you level your 2. Your 2 is a really good heal. Oh yes, I forgot to mention, Zonkui has a secret passive called the Laugh of Death. Zonkui probably has one of the best VLs in the game. If you get the chance to troll an opponent with it, you know, just do it. It is one of the funniest things that, I mean, I'll be fighting a Zonkui and it'll happen to me, and you know what it is? I'm loving every minute of it, because it's just one of them things. If you keep laughing at someone in a team fight, you're going to get focused, and it's beautiful because you're going to build protection on Zonkui. He doesn't have very good scaling. Between his 2 and his 3, I believe it's 100%. Okay, that's 2 abilities for 100% of your power. Now it's pointless you building 600 power, because you're going to be, you know, maybe 8,000 damage over them 2 abilities. Against a Hebo who can do that with 1 ability, that's just pointless. So what you can do is, as I'm doing here, I'm building protection. Obviously against on her I just need physical. A lot of the time I will build a lot of magical. Protection, penetration, and as you can see, on her just got melted. Sadly he got out again, yep, because I am building protection, but I'm also getting my stacks up. Once them stacks reach max, I'm going to have 3 or 4 health items, including ethereal staff, in my power. It's going to average at about 300, but my penetration, I'm actually going to be doing true damage with Zonkui. So you don't need a lot of power, because the power you are putting through is exactly what it says on the tin. If your ability says it's going to hit for 250 plus 49, it's going to do 250 plus 49. And in my opinion, it's one of the best ways to actually build Zonkui. I've seen people build him mage. He does do a lot of damage, and people build him lifesteal, which works for it as well. Obviously, when on release, Zonkui actually had lifesteal, if you will, on his ultimate. It healed him, and he was nerfed for it. And Zonkui's probably at that point now where he does need something else, and he is getting a buff, if you'd call it that. You know, I've got the mana buff again here, and I've built Nimian for on her, because he is auto attacking, and there's nothing else that he really has. So if he is hitting us, it's basically going to almost negate his lifesteal, if you will. You know, he's hitting me for however amount, and he's taking 20% of that back. And I think on her makes a mistake here. Yeah. The beauty is with Zonkui, he's such a defensive character. You do feel like there's times where, see, that's his escape gone, that's his mistake. Pop shield the underworld, and I chase him down. And I'm going to show you the laugh of death here. On her's going to get away. Okay, he's getting away. But if you watch, 2, 1, and engage the laugh. That's all you need. It's probably one of the best things about Zonkui. I could not count on 2 hands how many times I've laughed at death to someone as they think they're going to get away. It's a thing of beauty. It really, really is. It's a thing of beauty. One of the other things you can do when clearing lanes is to not burst your free. Obviously, Zonkui's auto attacks do an extra 50% damage if you can sort of angle your auto attacks right, because of his Book of Demons when it's not on cooldown. So obviously, I've not leveled me free here. So when it comes to clearing lanes, it's kind of a waste when I use it. It's more beneficial just to auto attack. But you know, I wanted to go back and get my next item. I'm building Divine Ruin now. Divine Ruin, so that on his healing that he does have is decreased anyway. And then he's going to be hitting me and reflecting it back at himself. This isn't me build all the time. This is on her specific. My normal build is shoes. If I'm fighting more tank, and on her makes another mistake here. See, what I'm doing is I'm duking. I don't want to use my 2 on him while my 1 is ticking, because you'll do less damage that way. So I was duking on her, waiting for me 1 to tick off him, so I could get the full damage from me 2, and not waste the damage from the 1. I've just time-lapsed literally just ahead of the wave there. Um, Obviously I walk in the Phoenix, it doesn't really do a lot of damage because I got my physical protection. I now have Spear of the Magus. This is so I'm doing true damage to him. He has about 30 protection, I believe. Spear of the Magus gives you, I believe, it's 15 penetration? 15 pen. Plus after 2 ticks, an extra 10 pen. Which is, overall it's 35. Actually, maybe 10 penetration actually, so it would be 30 pen I'm getting. Plus on top of that you're getting the percentage pen as well, which isn't really that useful in this game. But yes, my normal build would be shoes, debating on. I'm pretty sure I get him here as well, Oh no, I think he backs off. Shoes, if I'm fighting tankier people, I will get Magi. Oh, he gets me here actually. Well done. Magi. If I'm fighting, mages, less tankier characters, warriors, I'll let the cooldown, because at the end of the game, 10 pen has nothing on getting another 2 abilities in 2.5 seconds before you would get them in. A second in this game can be the difference between win and lose. So always keep that in mind with cooldown. I've took Witchblade because I noticed he's getting Quinces. He can't actually hurt us very much at the minute in one fight. So I want to reduce his attack speed as much as possible. So I'm going to Witchblade for now. Sorry, normal build again. Boots, Warlocks. Then you're going to pick up Ethereal. In any order, this is Ethereal. You're going to want something like Voidstone for magical protection and penetration again. If you're fighting a mage, you actually get too much pen if you go Magus and Voidstone. Spear of the Magus is another item in there. Mystical Mail I usually get. If I'm in, if I'm tower diving Kui, or as we call it, kamikaze Kui. If you're kamikaze Kuiing, it's worth getting Mystical Mail, and there's another kill, and there's me being a troll. Yeah, Mystical Mail is great in that situation. Another great one at the minute because of its 20% health regen and mana regen on a kill or assist on a god or an objective is the Mail of Renewal. That's a great one. That's getting nerfed to 15%, but I still think it's going to be quite useful. Games like Arena, that's where it's best suited. And then you could also get, you can swap any of these items out really. I would say Warlocks is, you definitely need a Warlock Sash in there. Because Zonkui doesn't have great power, but you want a lot of health on him. I always try to build my characters around their passive. Now Zonkui gets 40, passive protection. Just from eating souls, you're going to have 40 passive protection. Magical and physical. Now when you ult, that doubles to 80. That's 80 protection. At 100 protection, you're getting 50% damage mitigation, which basically means you've got double health, if you want to look at it that way. Some people do. And he has on her, he knows I popped under will, but he wants to get away. That's him again. Yep. It's that moment with Zonkui. It's probably one of the fun things about playing him, is you've got them. And you just wait for it. You just wait, and you go 1, 2, 3, and they're dead. Now as you can see, I'm now going 7 and 2, which is a good change from the start of the game. ADCs are horrible to fight against. They really, really are. And this is how you can counter it. I also have a great counter on Zeus. Sadly, his reworks probably left him a bit, overpowered, a bit balanced, a bit too high. But it still works. His Aegis Shield was great at the time. Now it feels a bit strong. So again, I'm going for the mana buff. I don't have full cooldown yet, and that gives us an extra 10% cooldown reduction. So I'll be sitting on 35%. Sorry, no. 25%. So yeah, the item you need on Kui is most definitely the Warlock Sash Ethereal combo. And I would also go as far to say you would also need a physical and magical protection item. Now, the passive effects, which one you choose to get, is completely up to you. I'm just warding here because I know hunters like to backdoor, so you've always got your Phoenix down. For me, on this build I've built right here to counter on her, it's good 2 or 3 abilities. That's his escape gone. See, he's made that mistake again. He's sprinted. He's going to get away, but I'm going to focus his lane. Fire minions are the problem. Oh no, he's going straight for the Phoenix, which is an idiotic mistake. I've burned everything there, which was silly as I could have saved me ult. But to be honest, by the time he gets back up and gets back in lane, I've probably got it up again. As you can see, I've also bought Weakening Curse. Any lifesteal he had, I want him to not have, on top of Divine Ruin. And his attack speed will be reduced, so his Quinceace is useless. With Quinceace, if you're not about 1.7 attack speed, it's really not worth it. You're not going to be pulling off enough damage. Now, as you can see, he swapped Quinceace out for Rage, which is good on his part, right? But I'm going to counter that as well. Now, I really want this Phoenix dead here. But I'm going to back off. And he's going to spend his time killing them. He's not going to chase us because he knows I have the better fight. His levels are, catching up as well. He wants to get fully farmed before he tries to take us on. But for me, I can just eat a couple of abilities, a couple of attacks, and heal them back up. That's the beauty of the two. So a lot of people get lifesteal because you can blow everything and leave on full health. But again, that's Weakening Curse. Again, Shield the Underworld, he's going to be hurting himself. I'm going to chase him in because you know what it is? Zhong Kui don't give no fucks. Simple as. Look at that. You could do that and get out. Zhong Kui is a beautiful man. It's why we call him the Kui, because he's more than a man. He's a hero. He is a superhero. He can do things like, Hebo could do that and die. Warriors could do that and die if you're on that sort of health. And he's a mage. It's a weird thing to say. Some of us actually look at Zhong Kui as a warrior because that's what he is. It's the same with Hades. In theory, Hades is a warrior because you build protection on them and you build penetration. It's a bit like Thor, Thor's more of a warrior than an assassin. It's just his kit that he has makes him an assassin. On warriors who don't have high scaling, you build penetration. You don't build power. Guan Yu, you don't build power. You can get little power, lots of penetration, and your Tallow Assault is going to half someone's health, if not more. So as you can see, obviously he's taken Rage. So I've sold off Witchblade because I'm not bothered about his attack speed anymore with Quins. And I'm now buying Celestial Legion Helm, so that you can only crit us once every now and then. And when he does crit us, my magical power increases for that duration. Again, power is not fantastic on the Kui, but the pen, it's all going to get through there. Percentage of whatever that power increases during that 3 seconds is going to go through on me one. And now, I know what hunters are like, so I'm going to try to keep them out my base. Yeah, the minions, I'm not too fussed about at this point. I am going to focus him down. Once he's, there you go, Underworld. He's just trying to lifesteal from us, but I don't think he realizes Divine Ruins, stopping him. And my Phoenix is back up, which is fantastic. I'm going 10-2 at this point. I think a lot of people look at Zhong Kui and they just think it's an easy game. It's not the case. It's not often you get people out of Zhong Kui. But if someone knows how to play him, if you know how to play Zhong Kui, you'll go the distance. Your team will go the distance. So I'm going to do a lot of Zhong Kui guides, some Zhong Kui mashups, things like that. Different game types: Conquest, Arena, Siege. A good item in the team fight is to get Blink. I know it's been nerfed, but it's a great item anyway. Zhong Kui can do what warriors do. Zhong Kui can initiate. If you've got someone like the Ratataska, or even Loki, who need to get in the middle of a fight, Zhong Kui's brilliant. He causes the chaos. He's the demon queller, and he should really be the god of chaos as well, because. And here we go again. He's trying to outdo us with Underworld, so he's trying to reflect the damage back at me now, which is fine. I've got plenty of health to deal with it. And I'm not going to chase him down because I value the Phoenix. The minions can't do a lot, but I do value it. I've run out of wards, so what I really should do is get more wards and place them again, because I know what he's like after last time. He wants to dive it. He doesn't think he can win this game anymore, but he doesn't want to lose it. Yeah, it's League Joust. He doesn't want to lose it, certainly not. And he's dived it. I didn't buy wards, and now he's going to pay for it. He wants to do as much damage as he can, because he knows it takes a while to get rid of fire minions. And that's him dead. I didn't even need the one, but just for safekeeping. We did it anyway. Had the time to do it. Yeah, with this build that I've done here, fire minions are a problem. I've got to burn absolutely everything to take them down. That wasn't lag, by the way. That was just another cut of the video. I didn't show the start of the game because I completely forgot to record it as well, in case you were wondering. So here's me taking down the Phoenix again. Your 1 as well, you don't want a 2. Okay, so on here's going to challenge us, but I really want this down because then my firemen's cancel his. I have time to pop everything, take his Phoenix down, and end him. You know, he's not just Zonkui the Demon Queller in this game, he's Zonkui the Lion Tamer. You know, give this guy to me in line because I've just skinned him. You know, and obviously the Laugh of Death in there as well. You can't hear his laugh because I've muted the sound because it was quite horrendously loud. Now I'm thinking here, can I win? And I'm looking at his countdown time and I'm thinking probably not, no. But I'm going to do a bit of damage. I'm going to dodge his ult. I'm going to leave. And then I'm going to bait him. Now I'm looking here. You know, I've got me actives up in 10 seconds roughly. So I'm going to juke through the minions because a hunter's worst enemy is minions. And I'm going to go right. I'm going to bait him with a bait. And I'm going to hope he comes towards us because now my actives are up. If I can catch him now, I can win the game. And he falls for it. His escape's gone. Underworld's on. He wants to power through his. And bang. And he surrenders there. So things to remember, guys, when building Zonkui. Don't forget the passive Laugh of Death. Don't forget your penetration. And remember, guys, a common cure for possession is a little exercise. Ha 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 ha.